Only in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure do we see two main characters go up against a rat in a life or death battle. Only JoJo. Only JoJo. And I gotta say, this episode definitely was an entertaining episode, even though the concept was quite bizarre. Now, the thing is this entire episode, the main focus of it is Josuke and Jotaro hunting down a rat. And then they come to find out that there is two rats with the same stand, which that's very strange. That's something I actually want to dive into. So what's very strange here is how both of these rats that were shot by the bow and arrow, apparently both rats have the exact same stand, which is just very strange and very weird, and hopefully one day we actually get some clarification of that, because it didn't really get explained, but it's just really weird to me how both rats had the exact same stand and were able to do the exact same thing. I just thought it was very weird. But anyways, getting off of that though, the main point of this episode was Jotaro and Josuke hunting down a rat and then a second rat. And even though on paper that sounds like a very boring episode, or it sounds like something that would not be interesting at all, it was fairly entertaining. I would have to say this is personally one of my favorite episodes of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 4. I'm not even joking. This is actually a very good episode because, for one, Jotaro is in this episode, and as you all know, I'm a big fan of Jotaro. He's a really good JoJo. But also, seeing him in a situation where the odds are stacked against him. And it's just so crazy, because, I mean, this is the man that beat Dio. Beat Zawaldo. You know, he's the man that took down Dio. This man that was like an unstoppable force. This strong villain. This strong character. Jotaro took Dio down. But in this episode, he was struggling with a rat. And it makes you just laugh. You're like, how the fuck does this man struggle with a rat? And this is why I love JoJo, which I want to dive into it. See, when it comes to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, it's not always about, oh, this character's just so powerful, nothing's challenging to him anymore. For instance, this weak little Stan can't do shit to him. That's not how JoJo works. And that's one thing I really love about this series. One thing I feel like does not get enough credit and enough recognition when it comes to the writing of JoJo is that when it comes to power levels and stands, they're so unique that even one of the weakest stands could probably beat our strongest characters. For instance, Jotaro, as we know, he has the ability to stop time. He has the ability to be a fucking formidable opponent if he's up close. He can beat the fucking shit out of you, and just kick the shit out of you like you're dead as fuck. But see, if you have an opponent that's ranged, has a long range, can stay away from you, and also be small to where it can hide and maneuver and move around, that's like a perfect counter against Jotaro. But also, if the person can kind of overcome the world stopping of time, it can actually kind of counter Jotaro and predict his movements and then fuck him up. And so seeing the rat actually beating Jotaro, it actually makes me love this series so much more. It sounds fucking stupid now since I'm saying that, but it makes me respect JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, knowing that even the strongest character can get their ass beat even by a stand that doesn't seem to be that powerful. Because, I mean, looking at all the stands so far that has been introduced in Part 4 of JoJo, this rat stand, honestly, is not that OP. I've seen some crazy OP abilities already from JoJo Part 4, and I mean, this stand ability is dangerous. I mean, you can't, grab the darts. If you were to grab the darts, even if you were to try to touch them and deflect them, it would instantly turn your, skin into mush and, meat, and you wouldn't be able to do much. So it's, also another perfect counter to, Star Platinum. But the thing is that the stand is not really that broken. It's not that, powerful compared to some of the things we have seen. For instance, the mangaka Rohan stand. That stand, holy fuck. So the rat being able to win, though, it's just, like I said, it makes me appreciate the writing of the series, because it makes sense. I mean, it was a perfect counter to Jotaro. Jotaro can't do much about that, because he's a close-range fighter going up against a long range, and I just respect the series for that. So getting off of that, though, the comedy in this episode, truly, I enjoyed it, getting to see Josuke acting like he's a bit of a rich boy and stuff. I mean, he didn't want to get his shoes all messed up and wet. I mean, he's like, oh, the pressure, just that was pretty fucking funny. I had to get a laugh at that. Just seeing how Josuke's like, the pressure, it's too much. And when you just see, Crazy Diamond all getting upset too in the background. I love the animation in this episode as well. I love the animation on the rat. I just want to take a moment to focus in on that. The rat's animation was so grotesque. Oh my god, when you saw the rat's first introduction in this episode in the fridge, it was so grotesque and disgusting, man. Like, when you just see the big fat body just moving around and it drags out the meat and starts eating on it, it's just so disgusting looking. I mean, even some of the other scenes in this episode, there was a lot of disgusting looking scenes in this episode. Like when you see Jotaro's entire like right side just become flab, like meat. It's disgusting looking. Like, ugh, it looks really vile. And then we see, you know, how these two people on the farm, they got turned into this like meat cube. And I don't know if it's just me. I could be wrong here because I haven't actually read this part of the manga. But was that censored? Was that meat cube thing censored? Because I know JoJo's Bizarre Adventure censors things with, like, the blackness type stuff. I mean, it did it with, you know, Jotaro tried to smoke in Part 3, JoJo's Stardust Crusaders. So I wonder if that, like, black type aura look on the meat cube, was that some form of censorship, or was that just how it's supposed to look? I was very curious about that. So if anyone can kind of clarify when it comes to that, please do so in the comments below. But overall, though, I think it was a very good episode, and probably one of my favorites. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Y'all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.